It is 2:21 in the morning. You are bolt upright, heart already racing, already running through what you have on your plate before you're even fully conscious. You don't know why you woke up. Nothing happened. The house is quiet. Your nervous system just decided it was time. If that is familiar, I want to tell you about the night I fixed a system outage in my sleep. Literally, I have no memory of it happening. And what that taught me about why your brain won't shut off has nothing to do with how disciplined you are. Here's the story. Earlier in my career, I was running data centers and global technology teams, which meant getting paged at every hour of the night for things that could not wait until morning. I remembered the first data center I managed. At 12:15 in the morning, my phone rang. One of my team members was in trouble. We had a transmission issue to our hosting environment and a deadline we could not miss. So I walked her through it, step by step. We got the system back up. We made the deadline. The next morning, she looked at me with an expression I still remember when I walked in. And she said, "Did you walk me through restarting that system in your sleep last night?" I had. I had zero memory of that call. None. My body ran an entire technical procedure calmly and competently while the rest of me was completely unconscious. That is not dedication. That is what happens when performance and survival stop being two separate things and become one thing. Running in the same body 24 hours a day. And here's the part that took me years to actually understand. That wiring wasn't installed by that job. The job just gave it an address and a performance review. The 12:15 call wasn't the worst signal I got. There was a period where I had to pull over on the way into work and vomit before I could keep driving. Then I'd close the door, pull back onto the road, and go on in. The person I was dating at the time said, "You need to stop." I said, "It's my job." He said, "Then get another job." I did not hear it as concern. I defended the pager. If you have ever told yourself, "I just need to get better at switching off," here's what may actually be happening. You did not become this vigilant because of one hard year, one difficult boss, or one stressful job. It built slowly, over years of learning that being prepared mattered, that getting something wrong could follow you longer than it followed someone else, that you needed to think before you spoke, read the room before you made your point, and made sure you had every angle covered before you pushed back. Maybe you learned that being direct could be called aggressive, but being too careful could be read as lack of confidence. Maybe you watched someone else say the exact thing you had already said, and it was a good idea. So you adapted. You became observant, prepared, reliable, the person who sees the issue before it becomes a problem, the person who thinks 3 steps ahead, the person everyone trusts to hold it together. And eventually, that level of monitoring stops feeling like effort. It just becomes how you move through the day. It starts when you open your laptop in the morning. It follows you on the drive home. It sits beside you at dinner while part of your mind is already reviewing tomorrow's meeting schedule, the email you need to answer, the conversation you should probably prepare for. You call that being responsible. You call it being on top of things. But at some point, being prepared stops being a choice you make at work and becomes a setting your body never turns off. Your nervous system calls it staying alive. Here's the reframe that actually changes something. What you've been calling a discipline problem is your system doing exactly what it learned to do. It's not broken. It's extraordinarily effective at solving the problem it was built to solve. The problem is that the problem it was built to solve was probably in a different room years ago, and it's still running the same solution on today's life. That's not a mindset issue. That's a wiring issue. And wiring doesn't respond to discipline. It responds to something that works at the level where the wiring actually lives. And it doesn't stay contained to after hours. It runs on a schedule you didn't choose. Example, Sunday, somewhere around 4 or 5, something tightens in you. You've probably called this the Sunday scaries, like it's a universal quirk everyone shares equally. It's not a quirk. It's your system running its pre-flight check, full day before you actually need it. Monday morning, before you've said a word to anyone, you've already run the whole day in your head. Who needs managing? Which conversation has to be handled carefully? What you need to have ready so nothing catches you off guard. Nobody sees that part. Nobody is paying you for it. It just runs. And somewhere this week, someone said the thing you said 3 weeks ago, and this time the room responded. You didn't make it a thing. You never make it a thing. Here's what nobody tells you about that. That's not grace. That's a deposit into an account you never agreed to open. So if nothing has actually fixed it, here's why. Here is what it actually looks like on a Tuesday night. You finished a 10, 12-hour day and go straight to the gym because it's the only hour that belongs to you. You power through it. You come home and open the meditation app you have been trying to stay consistent with. Sit for 5 minutes and close it because your mind will not stop running the morning's meeting or that conversation with a colleague. You make a healthy dinner. You read 3 pages of a book before your eyes start moving over the words without taking them in. You put the book down and check your email one more time, just to make sure. By 10 o'clock, you're in bed. By 2 o'clock, you're awake. Every one of those things is a real attempt to bring the system down. The workout, the meditation, the book, the no screens rule you enforce for 3 weeks before the Sunday night dread makes you pick the phone back up. Every one of them is a towel under a leaky pipe. They keep the floor dry for a bit. The pipe is still leaking. Your system does not care what time it is. It doesn't know the meeting's over. It's running on what it has always known. The only safe state is performance. You cannot schedule your way out of that. You cannot stretch or breathe or otherwise optimize your way out of it. The intervention has to go where the pattern actually lives. The first time I had actual language for where this started, it changed what I was solving for. Not the symptoms, the source. If you want to go there, my book does that work. The first 2 chapters are free. You can get the link below in the description. So what does the shift actually look like? Because it's not what you expect. It was not a breakthrough. It was not a moment of clarity or a morning I woke up transformed. It was a Tuesday. I opened my eyes and looked at the clock, 6 a.m. And I just lay there for a moment because something was missing. And it took me a second to realize what it was. The 2:21 a.m. wake-up call had not happened. I had slept through the night. No bolting upright, no racing heart, no immediate inventory of everything I had to face that day. I had just slept. Then it happened again the following night, and the one after that. And then there was a break, and then again. And then there was a couple nights where I had to wake up again, and then gradually, not all at once, the mornings began to arrive differently. Not wired, not already behind, actually rested. The kind of rested where you feel like you have something in reserve before the day has even asked anything of you. That is what becomes possible when the work goes to the level where the pattern actually lives. Not managed, not coped with, gone. If any of this sounded less like one rough night and more like most of your weeks, this is where the real conversation starts. I built something called the SoulFIRE Leadership Audit. It's 6 dimensions, it's free, and it doesn't measure how you lead. It measures what leading is actually costing you, the parts that never show up on a performance review. You can find it at amandalchristian.com. Welcome to SoulFIRE Leadership, where we talk about what leading at the senior level actually costs and what becomes possible when you stop paying the wrong price for it. If this is the kind of conversation you want more of, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and like this video. And consider sharing this with someone who might need to hear it. I post a new video every Wednesday. See you next week.